Solitos tuo, usum carum, umbularum, delectatque, contremescit me. Intra, intra, intra.
Hey, Elmers, we're back. It's 13th Elm. It's Rob. It's Bill. It's Michael. Say hi, guys.
What's going on?
Ayo.
And this week's movie is Cat People, the remake, 1982, starring Malcolm McDowell and Natasha Kinski. Very little to do with the original. People were kind of pissed off, actually.
I wouldn't know.
I've never seen the original, but I guess it's not quite as sexy as this film. And yeah, more skin than blood, I think.
So there was more nudity in
that.
this than the 1942 version?
Would you believe that?
That's shocking.
Yeah, that's shocking.
Directed by Paul Schrader. Universal Pictures. Budget was $18 million. Grossed about $7 million total. So big flop. And it's 2 hours. It's long. We'll get into it. What was your favorite part of this movie, Bill?
We're jumping right to this favorite part.
Yeah, I don't need to know if you liked it. I just want to know what your favorite part of this movie was.
I mean, it was either when Homeboy got his arm ripped off or all the nudity.
All the nudity?
Or just the
Those are
nudity.
all your favorite parts? Okay.
I mean, this was arguably the second sexiest movie we've watched together.
What's the first?
Torso?
Fright Night.
Yeah, it's true. Good one. I don't know why I missed that.
But this is up there.
Michael?
Yeah.
Favorite part of the movie,
Favorite part
apparently.
of the
We're doing that
movie.
first.
Honestly, there's going to be plenty of gags ahead, but
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to keep this in a serious vein. The opening scene, the photography in the opening scene and the score was great. Like, it really was. Like, all the colors where they were in the very beginning, wherever they are, whether it's like Africa
The Namib
or
Desert. Yeah.
That was badass. And I don't know, this is obviously a remastered version that I watched, and I was kind of thinking, I was like, dude, this is going to be like a really pretty film. And you got Giorgio Moroder and David Bowie.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in there like swimwear, and I'm ready to see what it's being offered. So that first scene, super pretty. Really, it genuinely was beautiful.
I'll be honest. I have first seen under my list of things I did not like. I did not like the music at all, and I thought the color, the whole thing just being red and the weird CGI panther, I kind of hated it.
I'm not at all surprised by that.
I just didn't like it.
No, I know it was good music, and there was no
Cinematography.
blood in there. So, I mean,
God, no, the music was bad.
Whoa, do not disparage David Bowie and his hit Cat People.
you mean Giorgio Moroder?
Well, David Bowie wrote it.
I mean, sure.
He did, and then he re-released it.
He did a theme song. The score is Giorgio Moroder.
I'm telling you, the music that's playing at the beginning is the beginning of the song Cat People.
Sure. And I'm saying throughout this, the music was a highlight, though.
That's right, and don't you dare talk bad about David Bowie in my house.
Did David Bowie do that first song?
He did.
It's bad.
Well, you're wrong. It's okay. It's a banger. It's a start slow. But yeah, they're like, I don't know if they're actually in Namibia, but it looks kind of like with the red, desert sand and like the, I don't know, acacia tree, whatever. And I guess they weren't panthers. They were cougars that were dyed black.
That's sure. Right on.
Is that true?
That's what the trivia say. So I guess one of the actresses was talking about it when the movie came out.
I wonder why that is. She does better on set?
Yeah, that's basically like training was really difficult. And the amount of animal actors and how they are, I don't know, treated, I guess. I did not care for that. I feel like a lot of times they're like riling up these big cats to get the reaction to put it on film, and it made me a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have zero issues with like the dog dying and shit like that. Like a domestic animal actor who is not actually killed and is living a better life than I am doesn't bother me at all. But the idea of having like big cats, like I don't know, I'm just not even like a fan of zoos. So to like see,
And this
We'll
was-
get into the
And
zoo.
this was, hardly a zoo.
right? I'm just saying, like anytime you have big animals and they're real animals, and it's like one shot or two, I mean, it's probably has the same sort of traumatic effect, but it can kind of move past it with the movie. But I mean, this movie dwelled on it. It was a large part of the film,
Yes.
obviously. And it was, I don't know, it was distracting and wasn't my favorite part of this movie. I'll just get right into it. I think I could sum up cat people with one word:
Yeah.
woof.
You mean meow?
No, this was like not good,
Good.
or entertaining or terrifying. There wasn't a lot of redeeming qualities. I did like the score. I like Malcolm McDowell just in general. I don't really know if I liked him per se in this film. Like there wasn't a lot. Nobody had a great performance.
He was gross in this movie.
And that's fine.
He was in it way less than I thought he was going to be as well.
Well, you're not counting all the times where he's a fucking
He's a
panther.
Yeah.
Which is referred to
But
as a
you know what I
leopard,
mean.
but was actually a cougar dyed black, I guess. Whatever. I will say, Annette O'Toole in this movie, I was like, who is this person? And then it was brought to my attention that she plays Beverly Marsh in the 1990 miniseries It. And so that was great because I was not, like, I didn't know why I recognized her so
Is she
vividly.
Peter O'Toole's daughter?
You know, I don't know that answer. I don't know that the age lines up, but also Peter O'Toole's not young.
I was like, isn't he like 1,000 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah, but this came out in 82 and she's firmly, in her somethings.
I mean,
Her mom is
I think
Dorothy Nyland and her dad is William West Toole Jr.
so. No.
Unless, I was trying to find out if that was like a brother or something of Peter O'Toole, but
No, I think Malcolm McDowell is like 24, 25 in this.
there's no way.
Really?
Yeah, because I think he was born. When did the first one come out? 42.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was born like the year before, so he was born 41, and this is 82.
Yeah, so that math is really wrong.
So he was 40.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
40.
Because he was in Clockwork like a
It
decade
didn't
before.
carry the one. Yeah. Also, him being a brother and sister, but like being British. It's cool. They were separated when she was 4.
It definitely felt like it took place in Britain too.
It's
Like
New Orleans.
I know.
But it felt like Britain.
It looked like Britain.
What?
To me, it did.
Okay, I mean, you've actually been there, so I
don't know. Like it just felt gloomy, and like mostly like the zoo and how it was laid out. I was like, this looks like it's in like a shitty
So he's John Hurd.
city in London, outside of London.
John
or something.
Hurd said that it was like these exhibits are from 1901. So like I kind of get that, but they built that set. They built that. That was like a backlot set, like all that brick and iron and everything. Like those cages were all built, which is, I guess, better that it wasn't a real zoo that existed because those cages are tiny. But regardless, we'll get into the plot real quick instead of just kind of bouncing around. Natasha,
cat people.
yeah, cat people. Natasha's like coming back to see her brother. You know, there's that intro scene like in the Namib Desert, and there's like this weird ritual where someone gets tied to a tree, and then like the panther comes out at night, and then it's like her on a train basically, like coming to New Orleans, meets up with her brother and his live-in help, Famale. Wow.
I was not crazy about this character.
No.
For-
She didn't really serve much of a purpose.
I mean that joke is so old too. Like, oh, didn't know English. Like, saw a female on the birth certificate, thought that was cute. Like, name me Famali. Like, holy shit.
And at the end of the movie, she gets arrested basically for like conspiracy.
This
Yeah.
movie was a mess.
It was.
Everything I want to say jumps around. So, but that's kind of like what the plot does. But so I'll let us develop kind of the backdrop a little more. But I have a lot to say about how many things were introduced that didn't need to be introduced, how many pointless sub storylines there were, how this movie was way too long, how this movie was full of like interjections from characters that only seem to exist for the sake of their interjections.
Like the
Woman at the bar.
Yeah, and the chief of police to an extent too. Like, I know that there's like all the murderers and everything, but there's a point where like he brings the zoo director in like at the second murder. They're like in the fucking police station. It's like, is he a detective now? What is this?
He
what is
actually
going on?
plays the chief of Baltimore police in The Wire as well.
Oh, does he really?
Which I was like, who is this guy? I was trying to remember him. And then, yeah, I don't know. This film had me really excited because the first one is like one of those seminal post-Universal monster like horror films. People love the first one, and I can only imagine the reaction to this. And that's having not even seen or developed an affinity for the first one. But this was just, I mean, if there was one thing this was, it was sexy, I guess.
It was sexy.
Like, not just like the cats and the gratuitous nudity, but just there was a lot of like sexual undercurrent and not even super subtext. Like, a lot of it was overt.
Like this pod.
It was kind of like, hey, I know we're brother and sister, but we need to fuck.
They've known each other for 10 minutes, and she's at his house, and he's like sniffing her
Groping
neck
her and stuff.
and it is really gross and uncomfortable.
But also, people aren't going to want to hear this. Seems like a really easy fix. You
What?
guys don't know each other. You haven't been raised together. You fucking introduced you to each other by like
He's
your first
British.
names.
Yeah.
And if you don't fuck him, you're just going to be like some murderous fucking anamorph who's like night prowling and shit. Like,
The
Which doesn't
rules of
sound
this movie are
bad.
insane.
no, but like if you're viewing it through the eyes of like, oh, I'm like
Don't wanna
need to
kill
be
people.
better. It's like, well, then just
But she doesn't.
chong down that fucking donger and
Well,
like get over it.
Well, she doesn't believe him for
Most of this
good
movie.
reason, because I
That's
mean,
insane.
if he could have given some explanation, but like Rob said, it was like, oh, welcome home. Like, we have to fuck right now.
Yeah, all over all
And
this
I can't really
circus
tell you
memorabilia
why.
that I've got.
Oh yeah, I love
Yeah,
that. He was like,
remember all
check out
these-
all this stuff from the circus.
Okay, I did like that both of them were able to juggle. That was kind of cool.
Juggling is cool.
Yeah, not as easy as it looks.
Fuck no.
But yeah, they're like reminiscing and like having stuff when they were kids, and he's trying to get in her pants immediately. Yeah. So yeah, she comes back home and starts like living at her brother's estate mansion in New Orleans, and he is, I don't know, he works for like a nonprofit or it's not really clear exactly what
Works
he
for a
does.
church.
He works
doesn't
at a
he?
church.
Oh, he works at
yeah.
a church. Okay, he does like community outreach, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a slew of murders going on right now. I don't know if they talk about that till after the first one, but she ends up going to the zoo, right? And or I guess I'm
Not
skipping
until
over
after the first
the first murder.
attempted murder. Does she live? The hooker? I don't
No,
remember.
she.
Hooker lives.
Oh yeah, just she closed the door.
She escapes, and then they fucking.
That's how they know. Yeah.
Yeah.
How does Black Leopard get into this hotel?
Black Panther. Well, no. It's a brothel. What was fucking prostitution legal in New Orleans in the 80s? The police seem pretty nonplussed about it. They just show up and they're like, "Fuck, we gotta get this cat out of this brothel." Like, shit, he fucking mauled a hooker last night.
I mean, I feel like kind of a thing that they're just kind of like aware of like it happens and like what are you gonna do?
It's like the red light district and stuff. I don't know. Whatever.
I think we're giving it
I mean-
more than it deserves
Yeah, oh,
right
yeah.
now.
Oh yeah.
Like, honestly, this is a sloppy fucking plot.
Dude, and then like you've got a fucking cougar trapped in a second story window. You can't get a cherry picker. All
No,
you got
she
is
escapes.
all you get is a
The
wood
hooker
ladder.
escapes.
No, when John Hurt shows up, yeah, she escapes. She gets her leg ripped off. She's also extremely cynical. She shows up like 45 minutes late and is like giving him like the list of menu and everything. It's like, oh, you can use Visa for tips, I guess, if you want.
And then and you don't even she's not even seeing anybody. You kind of just like hear some grumbling and growling, and she's like, "Yeah, $25 for a massage."
And then there's a giant fucking tail
Tail.
under the fucking massage bed.
And then she gets attacked.
Yeah, she gets attacked.
It was pretty goofy, and I was like, okay, cool. Like a hooker getting ripped apart, like first 20 minutes. Like I'm
Yeah.
into that.
Cat people, like anthropomorphic. This dude's like transforming into a fucking predator at night. Like, maybe we're gonna get some
I
good
thought-
allegory. Maybe we're gonna get some good gore.
What I thought was the brothel hotel, whatever it was, the clerk guy was like in on it and worked with him, and they had a scheme that he found prostitutes and brought them back here to feed.
Man,
So-
you just wrote a better movie.
So
Oh,
like
yeah.
that's like why I thought I was like, oh, this guy's in on it, because like she walks in and he's waiting for you, like you're late.
45 minutes.
Well, I
And that's-
assume he walked in as a human. It's not like the
Yeah,
fucking
it's true,
cat
but
checked
still,
in
like-
and slid him.
Yeah,
like
but-
he's waiting instead
still,
of like
like-
them showing up to like
But, like,
see
that's
if,
not
you
like-
know. I've never been to a
Um,
brothel. I don't know.
Well,
gotta
you usually
go.
don't go with the check-in guy at the fucking front desk. Like, you know what I mean? That's kind of like a private deal once you have the room paid for.
It's fair.
And I think the check-in guy like wouldn't give a shit if the person was late. As though I was like, oh, they're working together. Like this is how he feeds when he needs to feed.
Right.
But sure enough, we get like a little bite on the ankle, and when she's going down the stairs, like
She's,
it
like,
shows it,
crawling
and it
down the
like barely
stairs.
looks like it's just like a little bloody, and that's all we got. And I was like, that's kind of lame.
And they totally like rigged her bra. It
To
like
let
just
pop open.
exploded
She-
open when she got to the bottom.
It was,
of the stairs.
it was really funny.
It was funny. And like, honestly,
It looked like she had to do an extra pop to get it off.
when I
Like,
first saw it, I was like, okay, that was like a little gratuitous and silly, but they wanted to put a couple boobs in this thing, check the boxes for the demo. They put it on a character that's not going to be in here long. She's a prostitute. I mean, those will be the two boobs that we get in this movie. Wrong.
How wrong were you?
Oh
Wrong.
my god. There
Yeah.
was boobs. There was bush.
Bush.
There was
More
butts,
boobs.
There
No
was
dicks.
so many. Dude, we
So
came close to
close.
so much hog.
I was like leaning into
Trying
my
to
monitor, trying to
see
hit that hog
around.
from a different angle.
You ever you do the bit like a cat seeing something on the TV where you peek your
Yeah,
head around?
like, yeah.
It's like that. I was
I'm
gonna
hoping it's
Oh, damn
3D.
sneak a hog.
I do get what you're saying with like you had expectations after this first kind of scene where someone gets attacked. I thought we are gonna get a transformation scene early. I waited forever and finally got like
You did get it.
I did, and I was
It wasn't
it
bad.
wasn't-
It just wasn't long
it
enough.
wasn't great.
It was quick. It was quick.
It was decent though.
It was yeah.
I feel like we've been watching a lot of movies where an animal jumps out of a human's shell.
This is true. But and I thought it'd be funnier because I saw that
Am I wrong?
Human shells are so fucking funny like that.
we want to watch Cocoon later.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
good movie if I remember from my childhood.
John
Cusack?
Yeah, John Cusack. I thought it'd be funnier too with her like falling down or like her bra like breaking away. I thought it would be like more comedy in this movie, and there's some,
I don't know
but
how much of it was intended.
well, them jumping around like cats in slow motion, reversed,
Oh,
is
man.
really great and funny to me, but
Yeah.
maybe unintentionally.
When he fucking hops up on her bed and
Yes.
bed thing.
And he just
while she's
purrs
And
at
purrs.
her.
And purrs.
Because you guys had subtitles on, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Purrs.
Oh, yeah.
I also got the Famali joke like before she explained it, so I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah, but
But
all
But
that.
also she says like tamale, right? But it says like famale.
Yeah.
She goes, "Oh, it's famale, like famale, and it's famale." It's how it's written in the
That's how it's
subtitles. And I'm like, what the fuck?
what is
God, that
What is
character
going
was
on?
so not necessary. It was
Also,
insane.
pretty
offensive.
yeah.
A stereotype.
That's what I'm
big
saying.
time.
Like,
She's like some fucking
she didn't do anything.
no. She's like some West Indies,
Yep.
head wrap,
Like
voodoo, Creole,
Covered in beads.
housemaid who's like.
That's
of
the
course,
nice way of
like
saying it.
makes
That's what they were like.
I
fully
know.
going on,
makes her famous gumbo the first
Yep.
night,
dude, and
Like,
she
come
like
on.
knows about the animalistic instincts.
seems
of the
fine with
fucking-
it.
Yeah, like
I thought she was a cat person.
who knows?
She might be.
I mean, there are like multiple cat people in this movie, and it seems like for whatever reason, brother and sister have to fuck. Like, why
Why
couldn't
can't
you
she
fuck one of the
fuck
other
even-
cat people? Fuck that
Cause
that chick in the fur coat. Me
The
or
one that
Mana.
randomly comes up at the bar that
Yeah.
just creeps up behind them and just
What is that? Why was that in the movie?
I don't.
She never comes back.
Just to show that there's other cat people out there and that they can reckon and
Why
that
are
they
they all in
recognize her
fucking
as
New
one.
Orleans?
I mean, why are the vampires in New
know.
Orleans? Because it's a city of culture. It's old.
We didn't get any of that though. Like, I mean, I've never been. Have either of you been to New
I
Orleans?
would have loved to
No.
see like a
never
house full
been.
of cat people.
I've never been, but I can confidently say it doesn't look like that.
Oh, it does.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like if I had no context and I just saw a street view, I'd be like, "Oh, they're in New Orleans."
Really?
Yeah, with all the like multi-storied
The
and the big
graveyard?
iron grates.
I was
and
like,
all
they're
that.
in
Yeah.
some shithole in the UK.
I mean, small streets and like it's a really old city, or I mean, for American standards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they all have those like hotels on Bourbon Street with
Mhm.
like the iron grate lattice and shit like
and
that.
like the
That's
plantation style houses with
Yeah.
the columns. Yeah.
hmm
Yep.
But so Paul gets captured in leopard form in a pretty funny way. This is the first time we meet like the zoo crew.
The zoo crew. Yeah.
And they show up with their ketamine and put the ladder out there, and this is a pretty funny part. He like attacks him at the ladder, and he's like falling off.
Yeah.
But like no one cares.
Yeah. People like I think scream or something, but it's. He's got like a wooden ladder. Again, he's got like a wooden ladder. No one's holding it at the base of it. He just climbs up with like a gun, a tranquilizer gun.
everybody knows you hold wood at
It
the
just
base.
starts
It just starts wiping
Wiping
the windows
the
down
window.
through the grates. And then this is actually I think the worst scene for me for like the animal actors where they show the panther / died cougar like going circles around like tearing everything up inside that
like they definitely
motel room.
agitated the shit out
Yeah,
of it
exactly.
somehow.
And he's not having a good time. So, but they trank him and then go in there and pull him out and take him to their zoo, which
Trank me, spank me. That's what I always say.
in that order.
Well, yeah, duh.
Ketamine, woof.
Ketamine will put you down.
It will.
You will.
Mhm.
If you like not doing anything and having a great time, try ketamine.
Try ketamine. Ask your doctor.
or
Ask
your
Paul.
vet.
Oh yeah, probably your vet.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I got this horse. He's pretty anxious.
I mean, I'm ready to riff on this movie and not talk about really
The plot?
the fucking lackluster elements that.
Yeah, we've made it
I
10
mean,
minutes in.
Okay. John Hurt's character seems like the nice guy, and he's a fucking creep.
Is that all who played Oliver?
Yeah, Oliver's a creep, right?
He does come on Irina very quick. Says I love you within like, I mean, it has to just be a few days.
He meets her, and that night goes to dinner with her after chasing her like out of his zoo. And then at dinner, he's like, "Oh, I can get you a job. You can come work with me. Come on, baby."
It seemed innocent
Whatever.
at first.
Mm.
I mean, to be fair, I think she asked him to dinner, but
She does. She does ask him to dinner.
I think that she's doing this on purpose because she has an idea about where Paul is and that Paul's in this zoo. So she's like, oh, I can probably flirt with this guy and get a job at the zoo is what I thought. But then it never really pointed towards that
She's like
being what she
weirdly
did. So it was
childlike innocent for like 3/4 of this film.
Yeah.
This movie needed to be like 8 hours long to tie up all the ends that it like the
This movie
paths that
should have
from-
been like 80 minutes long.
Yeah, and without half of the things that they
It's
tried
just-
to introduce.
Just Natasha Kinski just nude the whole time.
It would have been
Yeah.
a better film.
And
Probably.
Annette O'Toole.
Yeah, why did she have to take off her clothes
Okay.
at the end? I mean, I'm not exactly upset, but she's
To
just
get
like,
in the pool.
oh, I'm gonna go swimming
5
but
minutes.
in a public pool without my top on, bottoms on, because I'm not a fucking
I'm
animal.
not gross.
Right. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Every woman in this movie besides Famale got naked for the most part.
Yeah. No, okay. So you know how they have the other bookend of the like dream sequence Africa desert thing? And that happens right before you see, her getting chased and everything. I thought that was the end of the movie. I was like, oh, the bookend, cool. That's where they're in it. That's kind of weird, but okay. And then it shows Alice getting chased. I was like, oh, I guess we'll get one more kill. And then she gets naked. I'm like, oh, there's like 20 more minutes left in this movie. What?
Woof. Again, that's all I have to say about cat people. Honestly, this is one of the worst movies we've ever watched on the pod.
I'm not crazy about this movie.
I wasn't crazy about it, but I think we've watched plenty.
We've watched some pretty
worse.
stinkers.
I said one of the worst. This is like name 3 others that are decidedly worse than this.
One Cut of the Dead, Horrors
Yes.
of Malformed Men,
Yes.
Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Okay, Thanksgiving was like
Really fucking good. You guys
75
just didn't get it?
75 minutes and had I promise you I will quote Thanksgiving. I couldn't tell you a single quote from this fucking movie. Like at least like Thanksgiving is like so bad it's fucking good. And it's like not even good, but if you ask me right now what would I rather watch again, the answer is Thanksgiving easily.
Well, duh.
Rob?
Thanksgiving is shorter.
Yeah, check.
I definitely.
If I was cooking turkey and taters in the fucking other room and it was, last Thursday of November and you put on Thanksgiving, I wouldn't tell you to turn it off.
Because even the strong points, like, I'm no prude, but like, female nudity's not doing much for me. So even that, again, and this movie's not gory enough either. Like, there is some gore. Like, I did like seeing Ed Begley Jr.'s arm getting ripped off, and him like
And that's
bleeding
pretty
out.
much it.
And don't we see someone else get like clawed up towards the end? I'm trying to think.
It was memorable if it happened.
Yeah, definitely memorable.
Oh, the other hooker, the blonde one, got fucked up pretty bad. That was decent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you do
Um,
see her like
That crime
body.
scene, I think there's like an arm on the bed, and then like
Yep.
her body's like kind of
Disemboweled.
wrapped in like a sheet and like all fucked up. That was
Yeah.
decent. We didn't see the kill happen though.
Yeah.
No.
We just saw the cops at the scene.
But yeah, sure. The rules of this movie too. It's like they turn into panthers after they have sex, and then have to kill to turn back into humans. Like, I guess it's a curse. So like, curses kind of suck. But you think you'd get, I guess he gets cat-like reflexes and can jump in slow motion. And like, what else? What else is there? Why? What?
It's dumb.
It was dumb. The little lore backstory we got was dumb. It was literally like what? It was like we
like sacrifice our women to the panthers.
No, it was like baby souls to leopards until the souls took over the leopards, and then the leopards turned into people slowly, and then we're half people or something, and then
Yep.
you have to fuck your sister to get out of it.
yeah.
Yeah, this is actually a quote that I'll probably say for the rest of my life. We are an incestuous race.
You said it was quotable. That's such a
I pulled
banger.
myself back around and I admitted it, I was once in a incestuous race.
relationship? Oh.
No, an incestuous race.
Who won?
Well, I was quicker than that motherfucker.
Yeah.
You like that?
I did like that.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, this movie was great.
We should watch the sequel.
The Cat People 2?
Yep, the cattening.
The Cattening?
If
I
it
heard
was called that, I would watch it.
it's got Katniss in it from.
Katniss Everdeen, the
Is that her name?
The
It's the fictional character from
from
Yeah,
Mockingbird.
she's in it.
whatever that
But they
universe
couldn't
is.
get Jennifer Lawrence to play her.
That's fine.
They recast Katniss from Hunger Games, and she comes in and she just starts killing everything instead of fucking them,
Right.
which is kind of what I think Jennifer Lawrence has made a career of. I mean, it wasn't Jennifer Lawrence, but
I
But
mean, there's also a quote from this movie I'll be saying the rest of my life. Mama will make it better.
oh yeah, him getting the blowjob
When Paul
Yeah.
couldn't get it up with the prostitute.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, was she a prostitute?
I thought so.
I think so.
I thought he like goes
That's,
out
I mean, yeah, that was his thing. He definitely just like
killing prostitutes.
killing prostitutes.
Yeah, because it's the 80s. That sex workers have no like redeemable humanity. Like
Yep.
they're expendable.
They're expendable people. They're not even people.
And it's just an
I
easy
didn't say it.
and it's an easy way to throw more nudity into a film too. It's
Also,
like
yes.
prostitutes pull your tits out. It's
But
fine.
no dick. Didn't see Malcolm's dick. Come
No,
on.
we saw Oliver's butt, which is solid. He had a nice butt.
Yeah.
He was fucking hot, right?
He was
Oliver's
dragging a
hot.
wagon. That's true.
Oh my god. Speaking of
Him
wagons,
walking up the
I've
stairs?
made a note to talk about a specific wagon scene.
Please.
Yeah, was it the nighttime scene in the mist?
Oh, where she's like walking around
In the boot?
barefoot.
No, it's hold on, let me find it.
Oh yeah, where they're crabbing.
Yeah.
Oh,
and she has like
she's got the
huge
waders
leather
on.
boots on, but somehow
Waiter-
just
yeah, they're not leather boots, but
well, whatever they are.
and like short shorts with like an inch gap between them.
That was a wagon.
Honestly, what's her name? Natasha. But what's the actress's name?
Irina.
Yeah,
Irina's the character.
Irina and Natasha
Natasha's
Kinski
is the actress.
does have a shapely bottom, and she was knee deep in the mud, fishing around for fucking shellfish, and she just had a very strange outfit choice that day.
Oh yeah, here's my note.
Did you?
That booty in those fishing boots.
Nice. Did you guys? Would you believe that Bo Derek was first cast for this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would believe it.
Yeah.
I'd also believe that she decided not to do it.
It's a massive amounts of nudity.
I believe I don't know who that is.
You ever seen
I know the name.
Perfect 10?
No.
Well,
She was hot in '82.
she had
Right on.
beads before the Williams sisters.
Yep.
She's kind of like Bo Derek is kind of like Venus Williams meets Agatha Christie.
Oh man.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, well, that's just me, I guess.
I really like the part during the search party where the zoo people are walking with the cops, and then out of nowhere, Oliver just fucking lays that cop out, and
Oh, he
immediately
just punches him and it's like, whoop!
Yeah.
and he
crazy sound
and then
effect.
and immediately it's just like, oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know why I did that.
Um,
I don't
and
know
it's
why.
fine,
I
and it's
should've
just
done
like,
that.
it's
And
fine.
Alice is like,
Or-
yeah, you need this calm down.
Also-
that was such a dumb
It just
scene.
happened so quick.
It's like a bunch of cops in raincoats with like billy clubs, and they're trying to find a fucking panther. Like, you're gonna get mauled to death combing that fucking forest. Like, what are you gonna do? This whole movie,
This movie was a pile of shit.
the cooperation
It
between
was
the
wild.
local zoo staff and the police department was impressive.
Yeah.
I will say that.
That was impressive. How about that dumbass scene where they're like, I can't even remember what it was. It was like, the crows keep attacking the fucking turtles or something. They're like, I don't know what to do. He's like, separate them. Like, oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, they're like
Oh, yeah.
walking through, just giving.
Oh yeah,
notes
they
to
did. Oh yeah,
everybody.
they do a zoo walkthrough.
Yeah.
Like how a doctor does like a walkthrough with his
Yeah, with
interns,
his
or not
patients.
interns, but the residents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I actually really enjoyed that. They
It
kept
was
coming
really
up
dumb,
and they're
but it
like,
was funny.
"Doc, we got a problem. These two animals are fighting. Separate them."
Separate them.
Oh yeah, of course. Jeez, thanks, sir.
The cheetahs are acting weird. Well, get their diet better. Like, give them liver.
Yeah. What
Oh yeah,
the-
he literally was just like, "Yeah, the cheetahs are being weird," and he was like, "Give them 2 shots of this and feed them this 3 times a day. A couple days should be okay."
Oh, also, I am now remembering that Oliver is like
I will
a
punch
Renaissance man. He has like a dark room in his house, and also
Oh, to
is,
develop
like,
film.
listening to Shakespeare on audio cassette at some point earlier in the film, where he's
I
like
remember
going
that,
around
yeah.
his
office space.
He's also like a pretty quick study at shibari. He throws together those fucking sexy ropes, which weren't real sexy at all. They were like fucking saltwater crusted marsh fucking ropes that he used to tether the boat to his
Marsh ropes.
Which was hot.
What was that guy's name? He had a crazy first name.
Yeaton?
Yeatman.
Yeah, that was great. How they just pulled up to this random fucking house on the water and was just like, yeah, me and my boy Yeaton built this place. I hope you feel comfortable out in the middle of nowhere.
We torn it down a few times too. Fucking this shit sucked.
Why was that guy in the movie?
So he could be hung from a fucking tree later. And like when I say that, I mean like he was pulled up a tree by a cat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he
be
wasn't
worth it.
hanged.
He should have killed himself.
But if the leopard fastened a noose and hanged him, that would
This
be a
movie would have
better
been
film.
so much better if it was like cat people, but the cats have thumbs like people, like opposable
Or
thumbs.
they were just
yeah,
like,
they were
like
bipedal and
The
everything
cats
too.
could shoot guns and shit.
No. Just make them like half transform like werewolves, like more prosthetics and stuff. Like I'd watch the shit out of that.
Yeah, actually, we
get
have our
one
first
shot.
guest in house tonight. We've had a
Yeah,
couple
let's
call-ins
introduce.
before, but first guest in house tonight, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Cher. She's kind of an authority on things like this. Cher, how'd you feel about the portrayal of black cats in this one?
See, I'm gonna have to disagree with that because black cats are known for being unpredictable, and they couldn't have had to do anything to rile that animal up. Maybe that was just the animal's nature. Well, you could just fuck off. You're
I agree. I mean, you're kind of a bigot, Bill. Like, I mean, really, like, black cats are known for being unpredictable.
I
mean,
before we get this,
okay,
but hey, let's bring
cheetahs-
it in a little bit.
cheetahs painted black and antagonized by a film crew.
I think if you dyed me a color and then poked me with a broom handle, I would probably try to claw at you too.
Yeah,
So-
right.
Or
You'd be
tip me
hard as
on a
You'd
visa.
be hard as a rock.
Look, all I know is that Cher's a black cat, and she's about as predictable as they come.
Well said. I don't know that there's anything to add to that.
That's the smartest thing we've
That's
said
ever
on this
been
podcast today.
Well, thanks for your time, Cher. I hope you come back soon. And yeah, so
Yeah, she'll probably be with us every third episode.
it's clear to me that she was a fan of cat people, but why were we not fans of cat people?
It was kind of like a really sexy soap opera that had like
Yeah.
2 kills in it and a lot of unnecessary characters, and honestly,
I would say
They-
soap operas have more kills in them than this movie did.
More twins.
Yeah, like have you ever seen what's a good one?
Days of Our Lives.
Or
Los Amantes Clandestino.
there it is. I liked General Hospital.
Oh, yeah. I mean, of course.
That's a classic. Yeah, I don't know.
George
Passions. Y'all ever watch Passions?
No.
Remember when you were homesick from like school and you were the only one in the house and you're like fucking 14 years old and Passions
Yeah.
comes on and
Well,
you're fucking
no.
well, they
No, I was
appeal to
never
all
Home Alone.
audiences. Yeah, I wouldn't leave you home alone either. Who's gonna feed you?
when I was home alone at that age, I was watching Jerry Springer, and like Maury was like what was on during the day. That was fun.
Yeah, going to like what are those dumb websites from then, like E-Bombs
E-Bombs
World, and
World.
Stick
Oh,
Death
fuck
and
yeah,
shit like that.
E-Bombs
Like,
World,
you thought you were
yeah.
so
South
edgy.
Fingers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What were we talking about that for?
I think we're talking about
Cat
Homestar
people?
Runner. Because isn't Strong Bad's in this movie, right?
No, but it is strongly bad, this film.
That is true.
You know,
I didn't hate it as much as Michael.
there was enough.
That's
You
about
hate
all
me
I
more
can
than
say.
this movie?
Yeah.
You fucking asshole. I fucking just drive you around. I love you.
Michael is way longer.
That's not true.
It's a tall drink of water.
If we measure
Much more
inches
nu-
by hours, maybe.
Way more male nudity.
Yeah, definitely.
That is true.
Yep.
I do have similar tan to John Hurd. He had some white cake in this one.
I thought he was wearing pants like whitey tighties for a second, and
He
I was
had a
like,
pale
"Oh,
butt.
that's just your butt." Okay.
he had a pasty little hiney.
He did. I don't know. There's enough in this movie to like be like it was worth watching once for me, but just it's too long. There's a bunch of stuff that's introduced that serves real no purpose, and it's like a vehicle just to have like kind of sexy nude scenes with Natasha and Annette. So I don't know. That's
Yeah, I
like
don't
not
know.
redeeming enough for me.
I don't know like what the lore and stuff is in the original one, but it seems like for this, like it could have been cleaned up very easily. Like
Yeah.
they tried to make it like more like deep and like too much, but also they didn't give it any time. They just
You get a lot at the beginning,
It says
but
Paul-
it's not explained.
Paul explains it like in 3 sentences, like in the kitchen, and like
at-
that's it.
At minute 90.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
What?
So like, yeah, just multiple cat people around the town, just popping into cats and killing way more people.
Or that they
Dude.
could change into cats at will. and
On
there can,
paper,
you know-
that is so much cooler than what we got. Like,
Yeah.
okay, Hollywood, if you're listening, quit remaking good fucking movies. Quit remaking Halloween, Nightmare Before Christmas. What the fuck am I talking about? Nightmare on Elm Street. Quit remaking Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Remake some of these movies that were piles of shit that could really be ramped up with today's technology. You don't have to make an Oscar-worthy fucking film. Just give us
No.
cat people, put it in a 130-minute box, and like let's get some fucking morph scenes.
cat
Let's
kills.
get some cat kills. You know what's more terrifying than a large cat, like in real life?
Not much.
Seriously though, like a big cat is wrecking your ass. That is
You're
the
not going to outrun it. You can't
apex
escape
predator.
it.
You can't climb a fucking tree.
No. It's going to rip the car
Arena
door
can
off.
climb a tree, which she
Irina-
did when she got caught.
Oh,
That
and
shit
you
was
didn't
funny.
even see her like anamorph. It was just sounds.
God. Did you guys ever read Animorphs when you were kids?
Yeah.
I did.
I loved that
I did,
shit.
yeah,
That
it's
shit
good
was
stuff.
so tight. That fucking shit was way cooler than this movie.
How do you guys feel
Absolutely.
about the final freeze frame scene?
Dumb.
It was so weird.
The best part about it was I knew the credits were coming after.
Well, because it's like the
I
end of the
thought
song
I
before
checked.
the
I was
breakdown.
like, did my shit just crash?
Nope.
Nope. This was still doing
It
this.
didn't really even provide like resolution or anything. I was like, we spent so much time not getting anywhere with this movie. Besides the fact that the journey was bullshit, like the destination didn't exist.
John heard, but then he realizes that Irina's actually the Panther.
Cool. Kill her. I can't.
I also like he had like 6
Why
pictures of
not?
her like on dates, and then
And
just
then
a
a
picture of a
panther.
panther, and then more pictures of her.
He like didn't put it together, but he's looking at their eyes
Yeah.
and shit.
I
Whoa.
know,
That's
that
what we
is-
just said.
I mean,
I know. Come on. She seriously came back in the room to say that?
Just to say that and leave.
To like double down on what we'd already been talking about.
I mean, she screams her opinions at me from the other room all the time.
I got one of those at the house too.
Gary.
Yeah, he's always trying to be fed.
I mean,
He comes
look
in-
at him.
Feed me.
You definitely feed that boy.
He's slimmed down a lot.
He's got a way to go.
Yeah, well, you know, like Papa, like son. I used to be a real piece of shit.
Used to?
What? When? How long ago?
Oh man, like fucking white sports cars, New Balances, hair slicked back, sloppy steaks,
Sloppy
Trufani.
steaks?
Yeah, big
Like a
rare
Salisbury?
cut, like a rare cut of meat with water poured all over it, sloshed around
Oh.
a table. It makes it so much fun.
He's doing a fucking.
Do you like me up?
He's doing a bit.
It's better when you tell everyone.
Well, he doesn't know.
I
And
don't
he's
know.
like
Yeah.
replying. I feel that. It's a I think you should leave bit.
Yeah, let's finish it up then.
All
You
right.
guys can leave.
Okay, so what what do you guys think about this? Do we have more to say? Look at those notes and bring something up.
I thought it was really funny when he jumped and when he punched the cop. I got up to the oh, they do the autopsy. They cut open the animal. And there's an arm in there. The arm falls
That
off.
arm, it's just like,
Oh, then it like turns into smoke.
Yeah, then it's gone.
yeah, it's just like,
That was crazy.
I mean, it was
More of that.
dumb.
Give me more of that. Give me more autopsies and weird green smoke and hands. Give me that.
Yeah, the smoke was. Where did the smoke first come from?
Out of the body. It
Like the
it,
interior of the
basically
cat.
sublimated
Oh,
from a
yeah.
solid to a gas.
Whatever.
And that's when she goes to the Amtrak station and just slaps down a wad of money and says, "How far will this get me?"
Where are you trying to go? North.
All right, Richmond.
Richmond? Like, I mean, okay, that's kind of east. I mean, it is objectively
northeast.
north of where you're at, but like,
yeah, that's true. I mean, in New Orleans, like that's a good little bit, right? What she
yeah,
put
but like
down
you could get me to like
$35.
Chicago.
She only had $35.
It's 1982 on an Amtrak. I'm pretty sure you could get to Chicago from here for $32 on an Amtrak.
No, they're actually kind of expensive.
Yeah,
I
I
looked
know.
into it
It's a bit.
because I like. Okay, well, stop doing bits. Do you have anything original to say for once?
No, I mean that was like my original bit.
Mm.
You think that there was a fucking you could get from here to Chicago for $35 bit?
I believe it.
Well, there is now. All the listeners are going to be hashtag blah blah blah. This is going to take over the internet. I'm break the internet like Kim Kardashian.
If we could get
I'm the
sponsored by
Kim Kardashian
Amtrak,
of this
that'd be
podcast.
great. Yeah,
No?
you got the fattest ass.
Sure.
Do I? You definitely have the fattest ass out of all of us. Like, don't even be joking. You got the fucking pressed hams in that
Cake.
denim.
Got that cake.
Yeah, which good for you.
Yeah.
I got like no buns.
Me neither.
I wouldn't wave a dog at it.
You wouldn't wave a butt at this dog?
No. Well, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
yeah. Fuck it. I don't care.
So yeah, this movie,
It sucked. What'd you rate it?
60.
No, you didn't.
That's what I gave it.
Wow. I gave it like a fucking 43.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it was
fair.
long and boring and
was.
not well written and not particularly well acted and
Okay,
like
it-
just
It's kind of a
sucked.
train
I
wreck, though.
agree with all that, but also like I was really stoned and like
You
some
gave
of it.
Cabinet of Dr. Caligari a 6.
Okay, he didn't
This
actually
was
watch
10 times better. 10 times.
Then the version of Cabinet that I watched, yeah,
I gotta watch
I
it.
watched what looked like a bunch of ink blots fucking.
It looked like someone dropping colored water on an overhead projector.
I mean, I haven't even seen the remastered one, and I'm sure it's better than this.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, like the dialogue in this movie was so bad. Like every line of dialogue was bad, but it was like funny
It's like
to
it's
me.
a train wreck, right? It's like fun to. I mean, it's not
It
even
was
that,
too
like,
long. It should have
funny.
been. It definitely could have been 90 minutes. And like I definitely expected it to be 90 minutes. I started this at like 10 last night, and I was like, "Fuck, this is 2 hours."
So borrow something that Rob has said in the past. This honestly probably would have been best served as like a 22-minute episode of like Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
Honestly.
A short, yeah.
Like if you cut out almost everything from this fucking film and just put in a couple like kill scenes and like the
you have,
fucking
like-
mystery of like cat people.
Can we
no
keep
backstory,
Alice in
nothing.
the pool?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you keep Alice in the pool, you keep Irina in the woods, you keep Dead Hooker in the hotel.
Yep.
I like the Irina stripping down while walking into the woods. It kind of reminded me of when Thomason does the same thing.
It's fair.
More Bush in
Um,
this.
Yes.
Yeah. George W. or Senior?
HW, yeah.
Yeah.
Senior.
He makes a cameo.
Yeah. He looks a lot like Barbara in this, though.
He does. Yeah,
Which I thought
he's
was-
in drag, which was an interesting choice.
It was hot. Yeah, Barbara Bush.
Yeah.
The beans out of that one, I'll tell you what.
She's fucking hot.
Yeah, he was
Fuck
the
yeah.
other female taxi driver.
I remember her.
Oh
She
yeah,
was good.
remember? Oh yeah, I also remember that ridiculous traffic driver.
Traffic driver.
It's your money.
Taxi driving.
Yeah.
She's like, "You don't want to go to that zoo? I'll take you to this other zoo."
Well, she's like, yeah, the zoo. She's like, the zoo's a shithole, and they get there, it's like a gorgeous, like botanical garden. It's like, yeah, I would totally go to that zoo.
Yeah, let's go to the fucking French Quarter.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
what,
I've been to the
Cafe
French
de-
Quarter.
Just go to Cafe de Monde and eat a fucking beignet.
Give,
And
give me a beignet. Give me
Yeah.
that chicory coffee.
It's also like, what taxi driver like argues with where the person that gets in the cab wants to go.
Apparently
Be like, no,
New
you don't want to.
Orleans
You don't want to
taxi
go there.
drivers.
She was also
I'd
like,
be like, shut the
singing a
fuck
song
up.
to
She
herself.
was singing
and
the
she's
radio along with the radio. Yeah.
All
No,
right, so
yeah,
60, 60, 43, whatever.
yeah,
I wouldn't recommend it.
50.
Around a 50 average.
I'd say it a 50.
No, I would. I mean, I wouldn't. Honestly, I would recommend this. If I watch this on my own, I would recommend it to Rob, maybe.
Yeah, that's fair. I would.
And I don't mean that like as an insult. I was like, it's kind of like
It sounds
so-
worse if it's like not an insult.
Keep going though.
Well, just because it's like silly
Yeah.
lore and like I know you like them long, boring ones.
I do love me a long, boring one. I do like weird lore. I do like weird, like sexy nonsense.
Yeah, like the
and-
brother sister play shit.
Yeah, like it's uncomfortable and that's like good. That's great. But again, like I feel like this movie
Incest is great.
it's just too long for me to be like, you should check this movie out. It's a train wreck. But I might be like, hey, put it on with some people and like see some tits. You know?
I don't know, man. I'm going with like Sleepwalkers and
Oh,
Lawnmower
Sleepwalkers is
Man
way
and a
better than
handful of
this.
things. Like I'm probably like I don't know. This was fucking rough.
I would have liked it if it was. I felt like we got shades of fucking American Psycho, like bits and pieces, and like I could have like used more of that, like with him.
Yeah,
you
if this
know,
movie was anything more like American Psycho and less like Cat People, it would have been better. Right.
Well, just more of like what's Michael McDowell's character's name, the brother
Paul.
Paul. If like more of Paul, like basically
Malcolm.
murdering people and like not and like showing up like in tattered clothes and like shit like that, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, just more of Paul in general, I think would have really helped this because, I mean, we know he's great at like playing a psychopath and like that's like who he.
Weirdo, fucking yeah.
Yeah, and like he does some of that, and it's good and it's great and it's uncomfortable. Like, give me more of that.
And-
like he's in a fucking zoo for 95% of the movie.
And we see so much McDowell hog in like Clockwork.
In
you know
Clockwork.
he's apt to pull that fucking bammer
He
out.
ain't,
like,
he ain't shy.
why don't we get some? If you give me like 20 to 50 more percent Malcolm McDowell, a couple gratuitous hog shots.
Oh, we're talking
It's-
about like body coverage or like just screen
no,
time?
screen time and then
Okay.
hog shots,
Okay, yeah,
additional, and some
Mm-hmm.
blood, and cut 30 minutes out of this film. I don't
Right.
know. It would have
That
been
would be
like
going. We're getting
it
somewhere.
wouldn't be like a great film, but then I'd be like, yeah, throw this on with some friends.
What if the final scene was a freeze
Frame
phrase,
phrase.
freeze frame of Michael McDowell's hog, and then
Like
then
Fight
him
Club?
just like coming.
Was
Yeah.
it like
Yeah,
Fight Club?
just
Where they were
that,
like
yeah.
Tyler Durden snipped in the Michael Mc.
But-
You got me calling Malcolm Michael. Like, I fucking like correct you all that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's like a big meaty fucking banger and mash, like a
Yep.
nice little Brit stick. I'll take it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
agreed. Yeah, so yeah,
It just it didn't have enough of anything.
yeah, it really did.
Except for,
For
minutes.
real.
Really did.
Well, I guess except for
many minutes.
I mean, it had
was-
enough. It had enough nudity.
I was a little
Slanted
disappointed
though. It was like
Yeah.
only female nudity.
That's most movies.
Yeah.
Sure, but this one didn't have to be that because it chose not to be anything else. It was a pile of shit.
Yeah, for it being so sexual, we should have at least had a hog
Yeah, I agree.
or two.
I agree.
7 would have been great.
Or at least
I don't even think there were 7 male. There might be exactly like 7 men in this movie. Yeah, if they all pulled hog.
They were all pulling hog on the set. That's how they got the part.
Like if Ed Bigley got his fucking hog ripped off instead.
His arm. That would have been awesome.
he's sticking it through the bars.
Just truncated his fucking.
He's taunting
his
it.
sleeve.
He taunts the leopard by pulling
Yeah.
his dick out and shaking it in the bars.
I mean,
that,
that would
be
fit
good.
with like their amount of zookeeper knowledge. They're like not very good at their jobs.
No, it was
They
insane.
keep these animals in like 9 by 9 by 9 foot cubes.
And I love how Alice first meets her in the gift shop, and they're like, "Hey, let's grab a drink later." And then it's immediately like,
You're a
"So when's the
virgin?"
last time you fucked?" Like,
Yeah.
what? You're a Like that's their
Well,
first conversation.
Those guys are hitting on her, right? And like,
Oh yeah,
yeah, but
okay.
still, and she's like, he was too big. Like, oh, give me his number.
Oh, and then she has that great line. It's like, "Oh, I just tell him I'm gay."
Yeah,
What if they
she's
don't
like,
believe
what
you?
if they
I'd be
believe-
so lucky, or some shit like this.
Yeah,
Like, what
if I could
does
only be
that
so
mean?
lucky. Men suck. That's kind of what this movie's about.
Yeah, that is fair. But then they kind of botched that even because like at the end Irina sucks. Like she sucks.
She does.
So it's like
This
people
movie
suck.
sucks.
Oh yeah. Hopefully we're gonna watch a better movie next week.
That's possible.
It is
Not
possible.
probable.
Who is picking
Possible.
next week?
Bill?
Oh, that's right, Bill. What are we watching?
Sweet Bill coming up with effed up pick, I bet.
It is an effed up pick. I don't know why you would bet that. I told you that on the ride over here.
Well, I didn't know, but I could have guessed.
We are watching. We are watching Benny's video.
Okay.
Do you know what this is?
Yes, I haven't seen it, and it's probably gonna be fucked up.
It's
Was it 92, something like that? 2000 in there, 92 or 2000. Give myself a decade.
I didn't write it down. I don't remember. But it is about a 14-year-old that becomes obsessed with like snuff films on the internet that he decides to make his own and then show to his parents for some reason.
Just about you?
No.
Damn, 92 nailed it on the nose. Also dating myself 10 years
But
ago.
it is written and directed by Michael Haneke, who wrote and directed both the 1997 and 2007 Funny Games.
Okay.
Have you seen those? Either of them?
Yep, I've seen the original, the Austrian, French, German.
So I mean, I've got like good hopes for that because like the psychopaths in those movies are like pretty well written and acted and
Is Ben Affleck in that?
everything. No.
No, but honestly, the cover does have one of the main like terrorist type of characters in a position who kind of
kinda
looks like a Ben Affleck.
Okay,
like I could see what you thought if you were unacquainted.
I like
but
saw the title
So
screen.
you're-
Yeah.
So have you seen both Funny Games versions, Michael? Or
I've only seen the original, and I know you, in a strange turn, prefer the remake, if I'm correct.
I do, yeah, but I mean, at that point, I mean, it's a shot-for-shot remake. It's just like what actors you thought did a better job, whatever. But Benny is played by Arno Frisch, who is if you remember, the two psychopaths in the original one. There's a blonde and a brunette. He's the brunette one.
That's
So
funny
that's
because
Benny.
I was just looking at him and I was like, that looks like the kid with the shaved fucking head. That is Benny.
And his mom is is also in the original Funny Games, the mom.
Susie Haneke, like his actual mom.
No,
the
no.
director's wife.
No, the character of Benny's mom.
Is played by the director's wife, I believe.
Is that Ulrich Muir?
Oh,
Is
well,
that his
no.
wife?
I'm looking
That's
at
the name I have.
Well, you're definitely right.
So what are we expecting? What am I expecting with this?
I haven't
Rope.
heard like anything like crazy. I mean, it does come up on like if you search for like the most disturbing movies ever made, like it will be on most of those lists. But from what I know is that's pretty psychological, and I mean, it's not gonna be like it's not just gonna be like torture porn. I mean, from what I know, it's a pretty slow burn. And I mean, I've seen people shit on it, like just call it fucking boring, like pretentious, blah blah blah. So I honestly don't know.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it also had like wide release, like in its native countries. Like it is a produced film. It has like a 60.
Yeah, it's on HBO Max. Like you don't have to go. Yeah, you don't have to go to like some
Okay.
fucking weird website to watch it. But I mean, it is supposed to be pretty messed up. So
Okay.
hopefully it's gonna be good.
Can't be much worse than Cat People, right?
I'm almost positive it won't be worse. than
It's
Cat
almost as long.
People. Is it fucking seriously?
It's an hour 50,
Oh, whoa.
God
Okay.
damn.
and I
Damn
think
it.
this was an hour 58.
Yeah.
So
this
it
is
is
just
kind of
like
another
a-
long boy.
I do like me a nice, strong long boy.
But hopefully it's good. Benny's video, HBO Max, next week.
Yep, we'll get to it and we'll come back and tell
We'll
you
talk
all what
about
we
it.
think about it. That's
It's kind of what we do here.
It's kind of what we've been doing.
Yep.
Yeah. So thank you, Elmers.
Thank you, Elmers.
Thank you, Elmers. And thanks to our guest.
Thanks, Cher.
It was a pleasure having you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, pull up with us, watch 2 films. Come on, watch 2 films. If you scared, don't come over here. 13 M, 13 M, 13 M, 13 M. Pull up with us, watch 2 films. Come on, watch 2 films.